Welcome back to Game of Thrones Weekly here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Ryan Malady, and this is Littlefinger, the Petyr Baelish Story. Coming right up.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Don't you just love that theme song? I tell you what, I never get tired of it. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ryan Malady, joined by a special guest today, Ross Rago.
That's me.
That's him. We're buddies, and we both have something in common. We find that Lord Petyr Baelish is the best character on Game of Thrones, and whether you agree with us or not, you might be on our side by the end of this episode because we got a lot to talk about. We're talking about the life, the mistrial, the death.
The man was wronged.
Of the would you dub him as?
Oh.
The
pimp that was promised.
The pimp that was promised. He
Forgiveness
is
or a high.
Lord Petyr Baelish.
Yes.
He is the purveyor of beauty and discretion. He is the master of coin, the master of whispers. He's a freaking genius. What more can be said?
Of all time.
Plenty. So, sit tight, buckle up. We're here to talk about our favorite character with a little bit of character theory, a little character breakdown, talk about his arc from life to death, Lord Petyr Baelish. So let's start off with let's back it up to, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Let's talk about his origin story,
Because it's interesting.
Yeah, Lord Petyr Baelish came from
Finger Islands.
The Fingers.
Yeah.
Right? And it's what is described to be 4 or 5 rocky peninsulas plagued by wind and rain and barren to all but the hardest of weeds. And they say it's only 4 fingers because the 5th one isn't quite...
Not big enough.
A finger, it's like a stub, it's like a nub.
Halfway there, yeah.
Like one of those like dwarf thumbs.
Almost an opposable thumb, not quite.
Yeah, nothing to brag about, but
No.
but he hails from there because of his great grandfather, Braavosi swordsman. All right, I'm getting a lot of this from fans. Ripped it from the books and put it on the Game of Thrones wiki, which is like the Holy Grail, is like the Bible.
It's the only way to
we
get
go
info.
to. His father fought in the War of the Ninepenny Kings. I love how there's
9 pennies. Yeah.
every generation has like a great
I don't even
war.
want to hear about the 10 penny kings.
No, the 10 penny kings.
Oh God. Way too bloody.
Basically, the father fought well and basically fostered a friendship with House Tully, and because he fought so well, the house agreed to foster Petyr Baelish at Riverrun. So that's where he kind of gets his first foot into the proverbial door.
Into the world, away from the Finger Islands.
Away from the Fingers, and that's where he gets his name, Littlefinger. It was described in the show, but he reaffirms it that he was a small guy growing up. He came from nothing. He got picked on. I mean, we can all relate. Like I remember I was picked on a bit as a kid. I mean, everyone except the coolest kids. But where are they now? No, we've all been picked on. We can relate to that. And here's a guy who kind of embraces that part of his backstory because he can't get away from it. He was dubbed Littlefinger by, I think it was...
was it a Stark? I think it was...
It was Tully.
Oh, totally. Oh, well, Catelyn...
Catelyn's brother.
Yeah, Catelyn's brother. Yeah.
Edwin.
And that's where, that's how he fell for Catelyn, too, because she stood up for him. At least at some point. He had an infatuation.
He did. He was in love. He was in love with Catelyn because he grew up with her at Riverrun, right? Yeah. He fell in love with this girl, and he was a guy who came from nothing. He's growing up with this wonderful family, falls in love with this girl, and the sister though, Liza, kind of took a liking to him. So that's kind of where that seed was planted.
Yeah, it was kind of the opposite. Like he was all about Catelyn, and then Liza, was like all about him. So of course that's Murphy's Law. It's never the one that you want that'll want you back. It's the one that you don't.
I know.
But that comes into his advantage later, too.
It does. It does. Because at first he's trying to woo Catelyn. She picks...
the Stark. Brandon. Like it was...
Brandon.
Right, Brandon.
And then Brandon was killed.
And she goes for his brother, the next best.
The next best.
What an
to
awkward,
Eddard Stark.
What an awkward intro. And like, your brother was great. I mean, you seem okay.
And here's Petyr, who's like, wait, the guy you were...
Yeah,
he's dead. Hey. I challenge you. That's not fair. You can't just because you're the younger brother. I mean, I challenge you. He falls quickly. Yeah. But
still, that's
the
hard.
balls on this guy.
That is hard.
That's true love.
And grit. I mean,
he's got grit,
courage.
He's got courage.
Like all these like great intangibles, like for a guy that Catelyn should have seen. Like he stood up for, like he was like, I will fight for your honor. And I mean, he lost.
He lost pretty
bad
immediately.
Yeah, he probably should have died.
But he wears the scar proudly.
Does. Yeah.
And he decides. Actually, I have a whole list of quotes here, and throughout the episode, I'll kind of like rattle them off, and then we can, you can tell me what you think about him. He said, "You know what I learned losing that duel? I learned that I'll never win. Not that way. That's their game, their rules. I'm not going to fight for them. I'm not going to fight them. I'm going to fuck them.
Right.
That's what I know. That's what I am. And only by admitting what we are can we get what we want."
That's right. And Baelish's game is just that in a nutshell. He doesn't fight. He's not a warrior. He plays mental games. His battlefield, he's like a chess player, the ultimate chess player. He's always a step ahead of his opponents. It's very mental. So with him, like he tried it once. All it took was once. He's
one time.
He's a quick learner.
He's like, okay, all right.
That didn't work.
I can't fight him.
Did not work at all.
But, here's a guy. He is the god of tits and wine, or I guess you would say, the lord of tits and gold. Because
look at what he's done.
He took a step back after that fight. First of all, just to highlight, only by admitting what we are can we get what we want. I think there's so much wisdom in that line right there, because so many people out there just trying to be who they're not.
They're going for things that they're not talented at.
Yeah,
just because that's like the societal norm. And in that culture, fighting is obviously huge. Wars and battles, you said it before, like all these, the Nine Penny Kings, there's all these battles everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like being a good warrior is a huge aspect of their society. But if he's not a good warrior, that's where he steps back. And like a really wise man will learn from his mistakes. And boom, he made one, and he changed it for the best way possible. And he made something out of nothing. Start from the bottom.
Yeah, start from the bottom. Now he's
boom
here. It's arguable, but not really. It's almost a fact that every single thing in the Game of Thrones show, Petyr Baelish is responsible for in one way or another. He is the root of all the games of Thrones, and it all starts with after him losing that duel, he decided to get closer to Liza. Yeah. Right? And so Liza was like, all right. They gave him a job as
she's married. She's married to
his first major job was as customs officer in Gulltown, where he increased the port's revenues tenfold. So he did tenfold. He's just like, he was always, heralded as the man who could rub two gold dragons together to breed a third. Right? So he's really good with money. He's like, okay, I'm not a fighter, but I know how to get people to trust me, and to trust a person with your gold,
with his money. That's big.
That's as like deep of a trust as you can get. Your trust is only as deep as your pocket, right? So after he does a great job at Gulltown, it's very easy for Liza to convince Jon, who is Hand of the King,
that he's trustworthy. He's capable of more.
So they're like, look what he did at Gulltown. So Liza convinces Jon Arryn, her husband, and Hand of the King to Robert Baratheon to say, all right, let's bring him in as Master of Coin.
Yeah, put him on the big stage.
So now, here we got this guy who nobody thinks is a threat, right? Because he's just some small town guy, grew up in River Run with, the Hand of the King's wife. He's just really good. He's like small guy. Yeah. He's got no real house name. House Baelish, Castle Baelish.
Yeah, there's like no.
Is like just this tiny little tower on one of the little nubs of the Finger Islands.
Tiniest little Finger Island. Yeah.
So small that it doesn't even have a maester or an official name. It's just
need it.
Yeah, we don't even. Yeah. It's like, do you have a name for your house? Like, no. It's like
I'll make my own.
Like the Playboy Mansion has a name.
Yeah.
It's called the Playboy Mansion because it's badass, it's like just noteworthy. My house doesn't have a name.
No.
Petyr Baelish's house didn't have a name. But after he rises through the ranks by getting people to like him and to trust him, he finds himself at King's Landing, Master of Coin to Robert Baratheon's small council. Now, here we have this guy who came up from nothing, which is admirable, who was picked on but rose through adversity, which is admirable.
Yeah.
A loyal guy to what he loves.
Yeah. Of course, like he's gonna play the field, like he's gonna take advantage of what he can, because he's a smart guy, and like he said before, he's always trying to be a step ahead. So he's always gonna take advantage of what he can, but he's always like doing it behind the scenes, because I don't know. People don't see him as a threat because he's not really physically a threat.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a strong name. He doesn't have an army. He doesn't have, he's just a guy who's good with gold. So let's keep him around. Yeah.
And that's huge.
And so now he's just these humble beginnings all the way to one of the most powerful men in the small council in King's Landing.
Baratheon, and look at where he started.
But he's not satisfied with that.
Right.
Nah, he's playing the long game.
Ambitious.
So, as most people know, the Game of Thrones starts off with Robert Baratheon going north to Winterfell to ask Ned Stark to be his hand of the king.
That's right.
Right. That's the first domino
that falls.
But what people soon realize after a few seasons later, they realize that it was actually Littlefinger who conspired with Lysa Arryn to kill Jon Arryn.
Yeah, and
that because of that was the first domino. That's what started every single event that led. So let's kind of walk through a little bit of the seasons. Right? Just give credit where credit's due, because you're watching this show and you're like, this just random storyline of like maybe Brienne taking Jaime Lannister through up to King's Landing, like you don't even really think like until 2 seasons later Littlefinger's like, oh yeah, that was me too.
I had that planned all along.
Yeah, that was me.
That would happen.
Yeah, oh, by the way. So, all right, so season 1, the first, I guess he started season 1's kickoff, right?
Right.
But we've established that. So now let's move in. Now he blames Tyrion for Bran's fall by what? Lying about the dagger. Right. The dagger that eventually kills him.
Dagger.
Yeah. So he says, "Oh, you know what? I lost that in a bet, on a duel, or a joust, to Tyrion." Yeah. So that whole storyline with Catelyn Stark, pursuing Tyrion Lannister. Remember, she captures him in the inn. Like that whole storyline was because Littlefinger conspired it. He spun his web.
Yeah.
Later on in season 1, it's pretty sore subject about how he betrayed Ned Stark, but
that is true.
He did say in a quote, "Distrusting me was the wisest thing you've done since you climbed off your horse."
Yeah.
Straight up told the guy, "Listen, you're right not to trust me. Okay, you're right, because I'm conspiring all the time."
He is, and he acknowledges it.
He straight up owned it, and he told him.
Anytime he's about to screw someone over, he's so straightforward. It's almost stupid.
He's like, I'm telling you what.
Something bad's about to happen, and you can either do it or not. And even if they didn't, I bet he has a backup plan that he's gonna be like, okay, I can still work with that.
He always does. Yeah, and we'll get to that because, well, first he's the one who inspired Ned Stark to look into Joffrey Baratheon's history.
Right.
And he was the one who was like,
discovered that.
Hey man, come on down to, I'll show you like some stuff, man. And so he's the one who basically got Ned Stark to discover those secrets. But he also told him, yo, you can be king. Let's do it. I'll help you.
Right. He laid it all out.
He laid it all out. Here's my plan. Mm-hmm. I'm totally conspiring to put you on the throne. Is that cool?
Right.
And Ned's like, no, that's not cool. I'm totally honorable. And then so Littlefinger's like, okay, well, I guess. But the other way then is for you to not succeed.
Obviously.
You either sucede and get the power, or you die. Yeah. So Littlefinger was kind of put between a rock and an honorable place, and he had to he had to betray him.
Yeah, he
Moving
did.
into season 2. Petyr Baelish is the one who got Catelyn to release Jaime. Remember when he brought the bones of Ned Stark? Saying, like, here's a gift.
Like, it's a trade. Like, he's
like, I just want to let you know, Cersei said...
He plants a seed.
If you return Jaime, we'll return the girls, Arya and Sansa. Even though you lied about having Arya, but still.
Yeah.
He's the one who started that whole storyline of Catelyn going, all right, I'm going to release Jaime. Mm-hmm. Brienne, take him away.
And that launched something else huge. Brienne and Jaime, like, we haven't even,
basically started turmoil within the Stark camp, and ultimately led to their demise. Yeah. And here's something that's looked over so often, because everyone's saying that Tyrion Lannister is the one was the true savior of the city for Battle of the Blackwater. Let's debate it, shall we?
Here we go.
Petyr Baelish was the one who brokered the arrangement with the Tyrells to beg their heed to come in, and they were the ones who actually rode in with Tywin Lannister,
right,
to save everybody at Battle at the Blackwater.
And they did. That is like that is classic Baelish, like tipping the tables of a battle in only a way that he can, and like you don't always see it at first. If anyone in that battle may not have, and he may never get that credit that he deserves.
He did though, because right after that, he was named Lord of Harrenhal.
Right.
Remember? Because they're like, Tywin rode in on his horse, and Joffrey's like, "You're the new hand of the king, protector of the Vale. Oh, by the way, Petyr Baelish, thanks for saving us.
Yes.
You're the new Lord of Harrenhal." He's like, "Well, I should have to acquire some sons and some grandsons." And he always has something funny to say.
Yeah,
you know, remember that scene?
I did.
Yeah. So they gave him credit and they gave him power.
Yeah.
So now, because Petyr Baelish is Lord of Harrenhal, because he brokered the agreement to save the King's Landing.
Right.
Now he's like, all right, I'm kind of a big deal now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a big lord, which it comes with titles and lands and money.
Yeah.
By the way, he already has money because he started off.
Oh my gosh!
He started the brothels. He's the one who basically
so successful. It's silly.
He brought brothels to like the next level.
He did.
You know what I mean? Like he took it from the streets
they were
to like the palace. You know what I mean?
They were fancy. Like they appealed to the nobles. You know, they could go there and like
to the high class spenders.
And that's like he was in their ear, and the brothel was like a way for him to spy too.
Exactly. So he acquired his wealth and his network of spies through his brothels.
All the same in one fell swoop.
Because he appreciates the value of a whore over the value of a ship. Yeah. Because whores don't sink.
That's true.
I mean, they go down on you.
Yeah, they go down in one way, yeah.
Moving on. Yeah, so he also negotiated, the way that he brokered that agreement for the Tyrells to come in is because he negotiated Marjorie to marry Joffrey.
That's right, which is another
a huge step. He's the one who said, all right, so Renly's dead, but all is not lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're bringing the Tyrells. Marjorie will now marry Joffrey and everything. And they're like, Littlefinger, you're a genius. Yeah. Here's Harrenhal. Like, you saved us. You saved everything.
Like, how did they not think about he as a step ahead of everyone else?
Yeah, he just hops in his little wagon wheel and teleports over to the next place that needs saving. I swear.
Let's go see what else I can do.
I admire this guy so much. Moving on to season 3. He goes off after his newfound title of Lord of Harrenhal. He finally has enough clout to go off and marry Lysa.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Oh, man.
And at this point, he finally convinces Sansa to leave with him.
Sneaks her out.
But before that, he's the one who actually thwarts Varys.
He is, and that's like his arch rival too.
His arch rival, because Varys came in and he saw that, Petyr was conspiring to take Sansa with him and stuff. So, he's basically the one who turned around and said, "No, all right, Varys, if you're going to thwart my plans, I'm going to do it my way."
That's right.
He went to Tywin and said, "Hey, guess what? We got Sansa, which is the north. Sansa to the north." And we have Loras. Loras Tyrell.
Exactly.
Who's going to be, the Lord of Highgarden.
Yeah.
And basically Varys was trying to conspire to get Marjorie or to get Sansa to marry Loras.
Yeah.
But Littlefinger came in and said, Tywin.
Got in his ear.
And so Littlefinger is responsible for Tywin arranging Sansa to marry Tyrion and Cersei to marry Loras, which is, of course, is a whole nother can of worms.
It literally opens up so much. All of these major storylines for the show, guess who's starting them all?
Petyr Baelish.
Petyr Baelish. Literally so much.
He puts the Bay in Baelish, by the way. I mean, he's just
one of the most, he's the catalyst of the show, honestly.
He really is. At every turn, you can look at every major storyline and back it up to how did this come about?
Yeah.
Who conspired this? Who whispered in whose ear to make this decision happen?
Yeah.
One way or another, all roads lead to Baelish.
Yeah. So far, Petyr Baelish, Azor Ahai is a big name that's been thrown out there. That should be Petyr Baelish. he's had way more influence on the show than anyone else so far.
Absolutely.
He started it like with the whole, I mean, the War of the Kings. All of it is traced back to
all
Baelish.
of it. All roads lead to Baelish, and we're not even done. We're only halfway through the season.
And we're like, what is this, season 3?
We're just getting to the end of season 3, which basically every major plot line we've already kind of discussed how, but let's keep going.
Yeah,
season 4, we find out that, well, you know, everyone's big moment at the purple wedding was, I mean, who do we have to thank? Can you guess?
Yeah, that's the one and only.
The one and only. Petyr Baelish conspired with Olenna Tyrell to murder Joffrey,
Right.
which gets that whole ball rolling, right?
Yeah.
He also finally helps Sansa escape King's Landing, brings her up to the Vale, and
Reunites her with her aunt.
reunites her and gets her out of King's Landing.
Yeah, it was just big.
Which is huge. It took like 3 seasons, 4 seasons for her to get out of there. Finally, of course, I mean, who's going to do it? The guy who gets stuff done.
He gets things moving.
So he brings Sansa up, and then what does he do? Marries Lysa, and then kills her.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
short-lived.
that was kind of, I mean, I think it was a little fast-paced. I don't think he was expecting to do it that soon, but like...
Things were progressing quickly.
Well, she was pretty crazy.
And he needed to react.
He was like, all right, this is going down.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, too, like, he's always got a plan. Like, if things happen, like, he's got a backup. And that obviously, you know, he had that in the back of his mind. The need came up, and he did it.
He knew...
He pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't hesitate either.
Yeah, here's a guy, just like you said, he's a chess player.
Yeah.
He knows what 2 or 3 or 4 moves ahead he needs to make, but he knows every counter move too.
Right. He usually thinks about the trickle effect, you know.
Yeah.
What would happen if he kills her, you know?
I do this.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
If they do that, what am I gonna do? You know, and so for him to kill Lysa, I mean, I'm not sure if he was planning on doing that from the very beginning, or if, because there was a chance that Sansa, you know, see, the thing about how Petyr manipulates people into doing what he wants is he does not express his wants.
Right. He keeps those hidden, so they're kind of guessing. He's in their head at the same time. Like they're thinking about his next move while he already knows.
Bam. Always keep your foes confused. If they are never certain who you are, what you want, they cannot know what you are like to do next.
That's it.
That's it. He straight up tells her, "This is how I work."
And it is.
Like, and
it's exactly how it works.
And it's true. If you're trying to get someone to do something that you want them to do, you can't express how it's what you want. You have to get them to want it. You have to get them to own the decision. You have to get them to you know, do what you want without thinking that you have any power over them. That's how Petyr Baelish does his work. That's how he works.
Yeah, he's like the shadow master.
No one thinks that he has power over them. He doesn't have power. He's just some guy who is from the Littlefinger.
But little do they know, he's orchestrating everything.
He's pulling all the strings.
All of them.
And that's the brilliance behind it, is he will just straight up say, listen, if it's not what you want, we don't have to do it.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, I have a choice.
And they're like, oh yeah, I have a choice,
wow,
but maybe
awesome.
I should do it. You know,
yeah, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I will. Let's go ahead and jump real quick into season 5 when he gives. This is something he catches a lot of flack for, and everyone refers to it as when they're like, oh, I hate Petyr Baelish because
it's a turning point, and that's one of the bigger reasons.
I mean, we've already covered how when he betrayed Ned, we said no, he gave Ned a choice first. Right. So I mean, we've established that. But the second thing that everyone always jumps on his back for is when he gives Sansa to the Boltons. Right. So in this scene when his plan ultimately was to get Sansa back in Winterfell.
Yeah.
Right. Now the Boltons had just betrayed the Starks. Right. Killed Robb and everyone at the Red Wedding.
And they took Winterfell.
And the Boltons have Winterfell.
Right.
But Littlefinger knows at this time that Lord Stannis is up at Castle Black preparing to go south.
Yeah.
Right? Littlefinger says, listen, Sansa, you need to get back in Winterfell. That's your home. And what do we do when we're given the chance, you know, to do something against the ones that hurt the ones we love, right? He's straight up saying, listen, we can avenge your family. We can put you back in Winterfell in a position to win Winterfell back and get your home back. And this is how we're going to do it. Stannis is going to come down. I'm going to bring the Lords of the Vale in. And he's not interested in Winterfell. He's interested in the Iron Throne.
Right.
But he's going to be so happy because your father was true to his claim that he's going to award you Wardeness of the North.
Yeah, and Stannis is true to that because he's a big picture guy too. It's in his path. It's on his way.
He's on his way down.
He's got to go through Winterfell to get south.
So that's what he straight up tells her. He's like, listen, this is how it's going to go down.
Tells her everything.
And he says, say the word and we'll leave. But this is my plan.
What has to happen?
And so Sansa, by her own choice, says, all right, obviously the Boltons are not to be trusted. I mean, their banners are freaking flay people. They flay people. It's obvious that they're terrible people.
That they're like the worst people in Game of Thrones. Like the most notorious villain.
Everybody knows that. It's not like it's a big surprise.
Yeah, he does it like every chance he gets.
You're probably going to get... he's
and putting him on display.
He's pretty bad.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Joffrey, but worse.
Oh, yeah.
At least Joffrey only flayed, like, cats.
Yeah.
And
he's like...
I mean, he was a monster, but at least he was a kid with, like, he was like little Dexter, like,
and then the
tendencies.
Reek thing, too. I mean, Theon, Ramsay... destroyed.
Oh yeah, he's beyond Ramsay's total monster, and like physically, by reputation, the Boltons. She knows that. So to be honest, for Littlefinger to catch flack for that, he never wanted Sansa to get hurt.
Of course,
he loves her. She's the only thing left that reminds him of his one true love, Catelyn.
Yeah, Catelyn. And he tells her so straightforward. She's got to know what she's getting into, but it's the only way.
This is a dangerous place, girl.
Yeah.
But
oh my God. Yeah.
But Stannis is coming down. I'm going to come help. You're going to be liberated, and we're going to take the Boltons down.
Yeah.
And then guess what?
That's what he does. Exactly what he said happened.
So yes, Sansa, she went through some hard times with Ramsay, but that was to be expected, and I don't think it should be held over Littlefinger's head like that.
Not at all. I mean, everything that he said would happen, happened.
You know what?
Exactly as scripted.
You know what else he does in that same season, season 5? As he's being called back and forth between King's Landing and the North, because right now Roose Bolton doesn't really trust him, Cersei doesn't really trust him, and yet they both do.
Yeah.
Because he's always playing everybody.
Yeah.
What Petyr Baelish does is he gets Cersei and Loras both arrested by the High Sparrows.
Yes. Oh,
he's the one who conspired to do both sides.
Yeah.
So he goes in and he's like, Cersei, I have a gift for you. It's a boy, right? Basically saying, one of my prostitutes, my male prostitute, slept with Loras and got a bunch of info from him. And so now I'm going to have my male prostitute, get
him in trouble religiously.
Get him in trouble with the High Sparrow, the High Sept.
Which is big.
So Cersei's like, great, I don't have to marry Loras anymore. Yeah. That's awesome.
That problem solved.
Yeah, Loras and Marjorie, great.
Saves the day again.
And because of Loras' testimony, Marjorie gets thrown in jail too.
Right.
Because...
And it kind of spirals.
Yeah, so basically because of Petyr Baelish, Marjorie and Loras are both in jail. But what does he do? He turns around to Olenna and says, listen, I'm going to give you what I just gave Cersei.
Starts a whole nother way.
And so what does he do? He gets Lancel Lannister to confess to Cersei's sins and gets Cersei thrown in jail.
Boom.
So because of Littlefinger, everyone's in jail now. Basically, all of season 6 where everyone's in jail, right? Is because of him. Because Littlefinger put him there.
And he's like bouncing back between both places. He's doing so much. I mean,
pulling the strings.
Just like going over here, going back over there, and just like traveling back and forth and just making waves with everything he does.
I love it.
Literally all of it.
He's basically, as we said, responsible for the entire show.
Yes.
And to bring that point real quick before we get into the last few seasons and a little bit more of the finale, the mistrial of season 7, which we call for action.
Yes.
But before that, Littlefinger may be responsible for the Game of Thrones. But this week, we have someone who's responsible for our episode. Support for this podcast comes from ABC, presenting the new drama, The Good Doctor, from David Shore, the creator of House. A young doctor with autism and savant syndrome will use his extraordinary genius to save lives and challenge the skepticism of his colleagues. It's one of the fall's most anticipated new shows, starring Freddie Highmore and Richard Schiff, The Good Doctor. Premieres tonight with new episodes Monday at 10/9 Central on ABC. I'll check it out.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, anyone who wrote House.
Yeah.
It was like The Good Doctor. I mean, I've been looking for one of those like new medical,
Right.
Like I want to see someone like get sick in a really mysterious way, figure it out.
You seen Autumn Rush? Oh, dude.
Is it good?
Yes, it's very good. And the actor that stars in Autumn Rush is in The Good Doctor.
Should be called The Great Doctor.
Good to see Enemy are great.
Yeah, right.
But well,
so there you go. There you go, everyone. Thank you, NBC for support, or ABC for supporting The Good Doctor with new episodes Monday at 10/9 Central on ABC. Getting back to Lord Petyr Baelish, Littlefinger. So where do we leave off? We leave off with so Littlefinger is the one who gets Cersei and Loras, and
they're all in jail.
And through Marjorie and everyone thrives. The ice out. Yeah.
A lot of shame.
Well, before we get to season 6, I would like to say another quote, just to illustrate some of the wisdom that comes out of this guy's mouth.
He's very quotable.
I mean, he's the one who. This is what he said to Tyrion Lannister: "We only make peace with our enemies, my lord. That's why it's called making peace." I mean, I guess you're right, Peter. Yeah, you're totally right. Like I mean, you can't make peace with friends.
It's true.
Because in that moment of war, you're enemies.
Yeah.
You're always at peace with friends. You're always at war with enemies. That's just how, like, if you're going to go into semantics, that's how it works. And he's the one who is always at peace with everyone. No matter how much he's manipulated and lied and conspired.
Always got to bring it back up some way. You know, if he's not burning bridges, you know?
Yeah, he's always on top.
Yeah.
He literally put a knife to Ned Stark's throat. And he's like, totally chill with the Starks.
Still.
Except for Jon Snow, but he's not really a Stark.
Yeah,
that's all right. To go back, just to this was said when Petyr Baelish was referring to the act of killing Daenerys from across the sea. They were like, remember Robert Baratheon wanted it to be done?
He wanted to assassinate her.
But I think it also it kind of alludes to other things, including Liza, and just in life in general. Peter says, "When you find yourselves in bed with an ugly woman, best close your eyes and get it over with." How true.
Yeah.
Just
and he's like,
close your eyes, light a candle, blow it out.
Light it and then blow it out. Take a look first. You're like, okay, yeah, the candle's got to go out.
Just get it over with.
Yep.
The past is the past. The future is all that is worth discussing.
So he's an optimist.
He's moving. He's always about moving forward.
Yeah.
What's the next step? You know what? Yeah, this happened. But what can we do now?
Right.
Why discuss the past?
Exactly. I mean,
only laymen discuss the past. Anyone who's been paying attention already knows what happened in the past. The only thing worth discussing is the future.
And I mean,
look at us discussing the past.
He's got obviously, but it needs to be discussed because
it needs to be.
Yeah,
we need to get to this mistrial.
If his head was in the past at all, he's got so much going on in the future. Like he's got so many webs to spin, and he does. He does it brilliantly, honestly.
Ultimately,
yeah.
We know this, but he finally reveals it. I think in 6 or 7 that his goal is to sit on the Iron Throne with Sansa at his side.
Yeah,
that's what he wants. That's his dream. Mm-hmm. And you know what? More power to him. I always thought, okay, here's a guy who. Actually, you know what? But after this next couple seasons, I'm going to ask you what you think could have or should have happened if Littlefinger ruled.
Oh, if he ruled?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But all right, just to jump in. So we left off season 5. He gets everyone arrested. Season 6, what does he do? He sits on the sideline, bides his time. And even after he says, "Yo, Sansa, I got this army. You could probably use it." Sansa's like, "No, I know that you like saved me and like everything, but like
she's being difficult.
No, I don't want your army." And then of course, she's like,
okay, I kind of need it.
You could really use an army right now. Shoot. So what does she do? She writes a note secretly to Petyr Baelish.
Sends out Raven.
Hey, bae.
Flutters in.
Hey, bae, can you send?
And he's just waiting casually, just like got his arm out. Oh, didn't expect this.
Oh,
let's see what this.
Yeah.
Oh, she needs my armies. Ugh. He's like, they're already ready. They're already dressed.
You know what he does? He sends them.
Saves the day.
He saves the day.
Yeah,
the Battle of the Bastards would have been lost if it wasn't for Petyr Littlefinger, Baelish.
They all owe him their lives.
Absolutely, they owe him. He came in, swooped in, and saved the day. And what thanks does he get?
They kill him.
I don't recall ever anyone thanking him.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Hey, Petyr Baelish, I know that like I totally dissed you, and then like I asked you to come and you did, and you saved everybody from losing, and now because of you, the Starks are finally back in Winterfell.
They're
finally
all where they belong.
After 6 seasons.
All the reunions, thanks to Baelish.
Nothing. No thanks. No like here's your reward. No lands and titles. No nothing.
Yeah, she was quick.
Not
to
even
send
a thank you.
Quick to send that Raven when she needed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's
exactly.
the thank you, Raven?
Yeah, where's the thank you, Raven?
Yeah,
exactly.
I've been waiting for that one. It's the one thing.
So Petyr Baelish saves the day, saves the Starks. I mean, he's the reason why the Boltons lose the Battle of the Bastards. I mean, once again, an entire outcome of a war hinges on the action of one man, Petyr Baelish.
That's right.
So, leading into season 7, even though he didn't get a thank you from anybody.
No.
He didn't get a warm reception from anyone.
Yeah,
Jon
they're
Snow,
all so
nobody.
cold.
Jon Snow's literally just like, hey, listen, I just want to let you know, like, anything you need.
He choked him.
Yeah, choked him just like his dad did.
Yes,
Starks.
It's a Stark thing.
Quick tempers,
slow
minds.
I know what to do with this. Grab him by the throat.
Yeah, I'll just choke him. Like,
yeah.
I just want to let you know, like, yeah, it's all right. It's cool. You don't have to thank me. I totally saved you guys.
He could have been way cooler.
I just want to let you know that, like, while you're gone, like, by the way, I'm the one who got Sansa out of
like
the capital.
Yeah. And
by the way, I'm the one who like is responsible for like everyone being alive.
And Jon Snow, like, he was like pretty quick to like forgive Theon. Remember when he like saw Theon, they get off the boat and he runs up to him and he's like, "The only reason I'm not killing you is because of what you did for my sister." Where's that thanks for Baelish? Okay, he did way more. Sure, he got her in that situation, but
got her out of it.
Yeah, he did. Got
everybody out of it.
Yeah.
Jon Snow wouldn't be alive to choke Petyr Baelish.
Yes.
If it wasn't for him sending in his armies.
He could have stood up on that hill with his armies, like waited for like a lot of them to die, like watching like Jon Snow. Oh, yep, he's gone. All right, boys, save him. Go and save the rest of them.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Fuck. Theon. He thanks Theon. You know what? We're cool, man.
Yeah.
We're cool. But Petyr Baelish, I know you saved my life and my sisters and everybody. But screw you, man. I just want to say, like, I love your sister, okay? That's why I did all this. He's like, get out of here!
He's so protective,
I was like, dude, gratitude, man. Come on. Petyr Baelish, I mean, he conspires, but he's upfront about that.
Yeah.
He plots, but he's like, yo, if you think you can plot better than me, go for it. Like, no one's stopping you.
Jon should know how bad dying is. I mean, he died.
Yeah.
And he saved him from dying a second time. Sure, I mean, maybe, I don't know if he could have come back a third, but that was all avoided because of Baelish.
Baelish,
yeah,
saving the bay.
He did.
God, so that brings us into the mistrial of the century of every winter. Real quick, let's just talk about it real quick. Here's Petyr Baelish, who's done everything right.
All of it.
He's plotted. He's schemed. He's up there in the north. He's chilling with the people that he saved. He's thinking, I'm good. You know, Sansa, she's my girl. She might not really trust me all the way, but hey, I taught her well. And all of a sudden, he's trying to, like, you know, manipulate the kids. Because he's like, you know what, kids, you obviously don't know, like, this girl's a friggin' murderer.
Maybe that's part
Arya Stark's like a weapon of death. Sansa doesn't really know what she's doing. Jon Snow's off fighting.
Doing whatever. He's mining dragon with glass.
Doing whatever. Obviously, these kids need a little guidance.
Exactly.
I'm going to sow the seeds of doubt and mistrust so that they can turn to me for the answers. And what does he get in return?
A knife to the throat.
He gets blindsided. Yeah. He gets blindsided. I think this is very unfair. I don't think this was a good trial.
Not at all. It's fixed.
My notes here say that I call for a mistrial, sir.
Yes, absolutely. His rebuttal. Where's his rebuttal opportunity?
Where's his opportunity to call for a trial by combat? Exactly. Where's his opportunity to speak? Nah. He didn't even get to say anything. And by the way, the only evidence that's put against him is the word of some crippled, delusional boy.
Why did they trust him so much now? Yeah. He's been north of the wall for forever.
I think that's what annoyed me most about it.
Yeah.
Is that
it's like, well, he said.
He did everything so well.
Yeah.
But the only one who could bring him down was, like, the three-eyed raven who, like, knows everything about everything. Like, okay, three-eyed raven, like, where were you, like, at any other juncture of this story?
And you look at the testimonies. Okay, Sansa. Hers obviously is thrown out because of Liza. So whenever he killed Liza, the guys went to her in the council, and they're like, well, what did you see? She vouched for him. She lied. She lied to the council straight up.
Her entire testimony stricken from the record.
Gone. Because
honestly, that bothered me too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Sansa, you had no problem covering for him when he did that. Why? Because
is that not treason?
Because it was out of your best interest that he did that.
Is that not treason on her for like lying to them?
Right?
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, so wait,
Two things they got him
Wait,
on.
did she lie to us about Liza? Is that what he just said?
Treason and murder. Those are the two charges. She's a murderer too. Even though she killed a really bad person, Ramsay Bolton, hey, that's still killing. I mean,
Sansa, she betrayed Littlefinger. She betrayed Petyr Baelish. They didn't give him a chance to speak.
No.
They cut his throat.
They did.
Without a proper trial. If it wasn't for Bran, who decided, I'm going to go ahead and just spill all of his secrets. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we dusted out every single person's closet in Game of Thrones, I think everybody would be put to death.
And
You know, everyone has skeletons in the closet. Petyr Baelish included.
Now they want to listen to Bran. Like when they were out by the tree and Bran was telling Sansa about all this stuff, she just left. She's like, I've got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. She didn't want to listen to him then, but then when he's talking to stuff she wants to hear about, she's all about it, and it's viable proof. I mean,
this is my official call for a retrial of Lord Petyr Baelish.
Yeah.
Even though he's dead, I call for justice.
exactly.
I call for Sansa Stark and Arya Stark to come to the table and to be put on trial for the wrongful murder
Killing.
of our Bay,
Yeah.
Petyr Littlefinger
I want to hear what you
Baelish.
say. He had a. Well, I can't even imagine if he would have got to explain. If he would have got to explain himself, and he's
real quick.
Yeah.
If he would have gotten to explain himself, he probably would have saved everybody. He probably would have
brought up our
brokered an
points.
agreement with the Night King.
yes, because we all know. Okay,
He would have played the Night King like a fool.
so listen to this. I thought about this. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, this is what he would have done possibly. So he's a key negotiator. He can negotiate with the best of them. Night King also negotiates. Think about this. Craster.
Yeah, Craster
had a deal.
The White Walkers, they totally
They
negotiated.
did. They negotiated.
Petyr
obviously.
Baelish would have been like, yo, let me take care of this.
Yes. Like, there's
Yeah.
a window there for the negotiations. Okay, think about this. What if he did this? So, Craster, you go up there and you say, Craster, okay, let's get a kid, maybe with a disease like grayscale. Let's see what that does with the White Walkers.
Bam.
Let's give him a poisoned baby.
The White Walkers would come and they take over. They would recede back after
Yeah.
winter. Petyr
They'd all
Baelish would be
get
sitting on the Iron
grayscale.
Throne. He would build up an army. He would defeat the Night King the
Yeah.
next coming winter. Basically, Petyr Baelish
Boom.
2024, everybody. I mean,
Night King
this
gets
guy,
grayscale, he's gone.
I mean, come on. He's responsible for the entire show. He would have been responsible for everything that came later.
Yeah.
This guy, I can't say enough for Petyr Baelish, and it's unfortunate that we have to wrap up now. But I will leave you with one more quote. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail and never get to try again. The fall breaks them. And some are given a chance to climb, they refuse. They cling to the realm, or the gods, or love. Illusions. Only the ladder is real. The climb is all there is. Bam.
Boom.
Petyr Littlefinger Baelish, much love. Thank you all for watching so much AfterBuzz TV. Please give us a thumbs up if you like us, if you like Petyr Baelish, or you like Game of Thrones. Subscribe so you don't miss another episode. We're back here every week. Next week we'll have another host coming in to talk Game of Thrones with you guys. Thank you so much, and
thank you.
Vala Magulis. Thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Vala Doharis.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.